Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode. This time it's just going to be a bunch of clips from random different things that I've been doing all over the place for the past few weeks. Now I did manage to run out of prayer pots, managed to get myself all the way down to about 10 in the bank, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go and whack all the things I've got, so nests as well as the dragon scale shards, everything like that, over in Nardar, just so I can get a bunch of the unfinished potions made so that I could then start doing a bit of a herb lore grind. That meant that I could then make around 3,000 full prayer pots, so I wouldn't be running out anytime soon for Slayer, so it wasn't too bad for that side of things. But then that also meant that the next time I went and grabbed a Slayer task, that I wasn't really prepared for getting Vorkath, so I made myself a few botanical pies, just so that if in future I need to do this again, before I obviously reach the levels I can then don't have to boost. So I thought I'd make a bunch of anti-venom pluses to allow me to obviously then survive at Vorkath until I perhaps go to Zulrah and then grab myself the helm, the Serpentine helm, to stop myself getting the venom from there. These are obviously just going to be great in the meantime, as well as obviously for Gumption as well. He passed me over a bunch of his super anti-fires that he had previously, and then I grabbed a few of the dragon scale shard or lava scale shards to make them into the extended super anti-fires, just that I would never ever need to use the anti-dragon fire shield again. And I could use our lance along with the dragon defender to make those kills a bit quicker over at Vorkath. So that's sort of a little bit of a herb lore grind that I've been on recently, in some downtime here and there, to make it just a little bit better. But as I said, obviously just a bunch of random clips and things I'm just going to be throwing together. These are a couple of screenshots that I grabbed from Gumption, managing to pull himself a 20 KC uncut Onyx from Skotizo. Not sure on the KC on it, but he did manage to pull his first synapse from the Tormented Demons. So he's obviously made himself Amberlight, which is great. It's good for him. He can now move on to doing things like, as I said last time, Cerberus and whatever else in terms of bosses. I do want to get a bunch of the recolors for the Slayer masks, so grabbing that black mask there is great. It's the second one, so I can sort of now look at perhaps spending some of my Slayer points or boosting up with the Wilderness Slayer. This is now my third Abyssal Head from regular demons, which unheard of luck in terms of for those. And then normally a task that I would just straight up skip, but I thought, you know what, it's an easy task. I can just go and sit with my proselyte gear on, camp, protect from melee, and normally obviously these guys are fully aggro. I've just not reset the aggro in this clip, but it doesn't matter because I managed to grab myself the giant champion scroll. A nice 1 in 5k, putting me up to 2 in total so far on this account, so I'm pretty pleased with that. But the main bulk of this video is now obviously coming up. From what you have seen over the past few times I've talked about fishing and what I would be doing, I was mainly at minnows. I have spent a little bit of time doing the infernal eels to get a bunch of lava scale shards, just so that I can make those anti-fires and whatever else I want to in the future without sort of being in a position where I need to go to the wilderness to grab them. Top back up my Zora scales to over 100,000, and then that left me sort of, from what you can see here, around 1.2 mil minnows banked on my way up to 99. It's not a particularly difficult grind. It's a bit of just a pain because it's not as AFK as you would expect it to be for something that only gets you about 30k an hour. I think if you're really on it in terms of with the clicks, you can get about 40k an hour XP, but that's still not great for something that you need. Was it 81 fishing and full anglers in order to just come over here, as well as obviously keeping an eye on the constant moving around, being aware that some of your minnows can get lost by the leaping fish that come along. So it's not a particularly great method. I wouldn't advise it. I think, you know, get yourself maybe a couple of thousand sharks from it and then stop. Move on, do something else, like, you know, in terms of for food specifically, go to Zulrah, go to Vorkath, get yourself some manta rays, or even just do Temporos and get yourself sharks, sea turtles, and mantas from there. It's not the worst of the skilling bosses. I actually quite enjoyed it, obviously getting my grind there done fairly early on, with only really, I think, I got the pet to go. So no complaints from me for there, and I wouldn't advise anybody to sit and do this at minnows. It was just something that I set myself as a target, and you know what, I thought I'm just going to get it done because I've said that's what I'm going to do. I have got the heron in terms of pets. Obviously you'll have seen that a long time ago. I managed to grab that at 80 something fishing, I think, fishing ground ones. It was, yeah, I was very AFK when it happened. So, yeah, I had no complaints there whatsoever grabbing that. So now my only real fishing pet is going to be the tiny temper. So probably we'll go back to that eventually, as I think it's a cool pet to have, as well as obviously you can never have too many of the spirit flakes, as well as obviously just general reward pools from there are pretty good. And yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world to just put more food on our accounts in general. Yeah, this is going to mean that no one in our group is going to need to fish any sharks anytime soon, and obviously is passing over a bunch of cooking XP to those that need it.
Level up completed.
Good old sea engineer giving us that 99 fishing. It's not a bad haul overall. It's been something I've been putting off for a long time getting this finished. I don't know why why I've taken so long to get this finished. I've been sort of 95 for ages. So yeah, this is the first time trading over to Kylie Minnow. And as you can see there on screen, just under 31,000 sharks obtained. So very nice amount. Nowhere near obviously the sort of 50-ish K Karam ones I had at one stage. But I then passed a bunch over to Gumption to cook and obviously have as a bunch of food for himself. But this meant that I'm passing several million XP that I've been passing over to him. I think it's going to leave him somewhere around 500k left to go to get 99 cooking. It's definitely not the worst 99 for him to get, obviously, because then he won't ever burn any more food himself. And obviously whatever he chooses to do for fishing isn't going to be as impactful. He might just go and do a bunch of barb fishing, get himself some agility levels. Obviously doesn't need the strength, but it's not the worst thing in the world to just go and grab. So yeah, luckily, obviously we're already over here at the Fishing Guild grabbing that. So that meant all we had to do was step just outside to go to the Master Fisherman to grab ourselves the cape. Yeah, I'm tempted to go and get myself another set of angler just to put it in the POH, because you all know what I'm like by now with that. Have both sets, even though makes no difference whatsoever other than if you're playing the Temporals minigame. But obviously we're going to do the obligatory skill cape emote. I've not seen this one before. It's a very nice cape. I like the gold trim. I think it looks cool. I like the sky blue. Very, very good cape. I've seen it a couple of times, but not much. But I have never seen this emote. So yeah, pretty cool on that one. But for now, that's going to be it for this episode. Until next time.